In the spotlight tonight is Ed Harris from London, a company director. His specialist subject is Garibaldi. Mike Abbott from Shoreham by Sea, a company director whose specialist subject is The Archers. Adrien Jeffs from Norfolk, a freelance writer, and his subject, the science fiction novels of Arthur C. Clarke. And Amanda Hill from Carshalton, a retired post office clerk, and her subject, the rivers of Britain and Ireland. Hello, I'm John Humphreys and welcome to Mastermind. Each of our contenders has already won a first-round heat, so whoever wins tonight will get a place in the grand final and who knows, may become the nation's mastermind and take home this glass bowl and, of course, far more importantly, the honour of the title. All they have to do is answer more questions accurately than anybody else. It's that simple. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Ed Harris.
Your occupation?
Company director.
And your chosen subject?
Garibaldi and the Unification of Italy.
Garibaldi, in 2 minutes starting now. In which city did Giuseppe Garibaldi form the Italian Legion in April 1843?
Genoa.
Montevideo. On the 1st of August 1850, Garibaldi departed from which small fishing port on the Adriatic with the intention of travelling to Venice?
Cesenatico.
Yes. Who was the Hungarian officer whom Garibaldi left in charge of the army on the Volturno during his short absence in September 1860?
Tour.
Yes. In December 1858, who at Garibaldi's request wrote the words of a patriotic song that became known as Garibaldi's hymn?
Mercantini.
Correct. At which fortress on the Gulf of Spezia was he briefly imprisoned after his defeats at Astra Promonte and Mentana?
Pass.
Which Englishwoman joined Garibaldi's campaign as a nurse and was given the title Inspectress of Ambulances on the battlefield?
Jessie White.
Correct. On the 26th of October 1860, near which town did Garibaldi greet Victor Emmanuel as the first king of Italy?
Teano.
Correct. In 1860, whom did Garibaldi appoint as director of excavations in Naples?
Alexander Dumas.
Correct. Who commanded the Neapolitan forces defeated by the Garibaldini at Milazzo in July 1860?
Bosco.
Correct. In July 1848, at which royal headquarters did Garibaldi offer his services to King Charles Albert of Sardinia-Piedmont?
Rovera.
Roverbella. Which future premier of a united Italy was a major influence in persuading Garibaldi to invade Sicily?
Crispi.
Correct. In February 1849, of which city was he elected as a representative to the Constituent Assembly of the Roman Republic?
Rieti.
Macerata. Which close associate from his South American days died in Genoa at the very start of Garibaldi's campaign?
Anzani.
Correct. Through which gate did Garibaldi and his followers leave Rome on the 2nd of July 1849 after the city had fallen?
Porta San Giovanni.
Correct. Who briefly joined Garibaldi during his Alpine campaign in the summer of 1848 carrying a banner inscribed Dio e Populo?
Mazzini.
Correct. Who commanded the Lombardo when the 1000 sailed for Sicily in May 1860 while Garibaldi travelled in the Piemonte?
Pass.
Who was the Italian premier when Garibaldi, I've started so I shall finish, when Garibaldi marched on Rome in 1862 and again in 1867?
D'Azeglio.
Rattazzi. You passed on 2 questions. It was Bixio who commanded the Lombardo and Varignano was the fortress in question. 2 passes, Ed Harris, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Mike Abbott.
Your occupation?
Company director.
And your chosen subject?
The Archers since 1970.
The Archers. 2 minutes. What is the name of Ambridge's nearest railway station lying about 6 miles west of the village?
Hollerton Junction.
Correct. Which businessman formerly involved with Caroline got Elizabeth pregnant and then deserted her at a motorway service station?
Cameron Fraser.
Correct. Under what name did Norman Painting write over 1,000 episodes of The Archers?
Bruno Milner.
Yes. What was the occupation of Nelson Gabriel's daughter Rosemary, whom he'd not known about until her sudden arrival in Ambridge at the age of 20?
Police officer.
Police cadet, yes. What was the maiden name of the future Pat Archer who arrived in Ambridge in 1974 and married Tony Archer later that year?
Lewis.
Yes, whose vendetta against George Barford culminated in 2004 in a firebomb attack at George's house?
Clive Horrobin.
Correct. Where did the recording of Princess Margaret's appearance at the Grey Gables charity fashion show in '84 actually take place?
The hotel in Birmingham.
No, the Library of Kensington Palace. What was the name of the police sergeant whose affair with Kathy Perks led to a temporary separation between Sid and Kathy?
Dave Barry.
Yes, what event involving cream crackers, tripe and tea bags did Eddie and Alistair organise for the 2004 Ambridge Fete?
A wife-carrying
A
contest.
bush tucker challenge. In 1987, after the death of the actor George Hart, his character Jethro Larkin also died of an internal hemorrhage after what accident occurred?
He was hit by a falling branch from a tree.
Yes, following Godfrey Bazley's long spell in the role and Malcolm Lynch's much shorter stint, who was appointed as the third script editor of The Archers in 1973?
Jock Gallagher.
Charles LaFoe. Natalie Moore-Leslie played the Reverend Janet Fisher, but she'd previously played which fashion designer girlfriend of David Archer?
Sophie Barlow.
Correct. Frank Middlemas became the fourth and last actor to play Dan Archer, following whose death in 1982?
Edgar Harrison.
Correct. What was the name of the horse that Brian bought Alice as a replacement for her old pony Chandler?
Pass.
Who lodged at Ambridge Hall with Aunt Laura for almost 10 years after answering her advert for a paying guest in 1976?
Colonel Danby.
Yes, after Jerry Buckle left the vicarage, Robin Stokes was appointed as a non-stipendiary minister. What was his other job?
Pass.
What is the name of the... I'll finish the question. The name of the 1,000-acre estate now owned by Borchester Land that includes Bridge Farm, business units at Sawyer's Farm and the new housing development Grange Spinney.
Barrow Estate.
Barrow Estate is right. I can tell you now that Robin Stokes was also a vet as well as a minister, and the name of that horse was Spearmint. 2 passes. Mike Abbott, you have 12 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Adrien Jeffs,
Your occupation?
freelance writer.
And your chosen subject?
The science fiction novels of Sir Arthur C. Clarke.
Arthur C. Clarke, in 2 minutes. What was the title of Clarke's first science fiction novel published by Startling Stories in 1948?
Prelude to Space.
Against the Fall of Night. For what in the Odyssey series does the TMA designation of the monolith stand?
Tycho-magnetic anomaly.
Correct. Which historical romance is one of only 2 novels available to the passengers of the stranded dust cruiser Selene in a fall of moon dust?
The Orange and the Apple.
Indeed. What mythological name is given by Clarke in Imperial Earth to the proposed antenna farm of 100-metre dishes?
Argus.
Cyclops. Due to the relative nature of time, Jan Rodricks, the last living human in Childhood's End, has aged only 6 months after an absence of how many years from
80.
Earth? Yes. In 2001, A Space Odyssey, which unit does HAL 9000 report as having developed a fault during Frank Poole's birthday party?
AE35.
Correct. In the Fountains of Paradise, what term is applied to the super-strength material constructed from a continuous pseudo-one-dimensional diamond crystal?
Carbon fibre.
Hyperfilament. What is the name of the project in the sands of Mars to ignite the moon Phobos as a second sun for Mars?
Project Dawn.
Yes, according to Clarke in The Hammer of God, there's a high probability of which comet hitting Earth on the 14th of August, 2126?
Kali.
Swift-Tuttle. In Earthlight, which of the Federation spaceships was the only one ever to be built specifically for war?
Acheron.
Correct. What name is given to the abnormally large squid in the deep range?
Percy.
Yes. The pressure group Blue Peace objects to the proposed use of which rocket monopropellant in a scheme to raise the Titanic and the Ghost from the Grand Banks?
Hydrazine.
Correct. What is the name of the advanced new drive with which the Soviet spaceship cosmonaut Alexei Leonov is fitted in 2010 Odyssey 2?
The Sakharov drive.
Correct. In The Songs of Distant Earth, which planet is the final destination of the starship Magellan?
Sagan 2.
Correct. Which 3-word message is sent by the scientist Rolf van der Berg in 2061 Odyssey 3, verifying that Mount Zeus on Europa is one large diamond?
Lucy is here.
Yes. What is the final sentence in Rendezvous with Rama that convinced many readers that there would be sequels?
The Ramans do everything in threes.
Correct. In 3001, the final Odyssey, what does the Europa Committee member, I'll finish the question, with the unpronounceable name suggest as a way of disabling the monolith?
A Trojan horse using computer viruses.
Exactly that. No passes. Hadrien Jeffs, you have 13 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Amanda Hill,
Occupation?
retired postal officer.
And your chosen subject?
The rivers of Britain and Ireland.
The rivers of Britain and Ireland in 2 minutes. Which river name, which occurs in a number of places, including Yorkshire, the Fens and Sussex, is derived from a Celtic word for water?
Ouse.
Yes, the spring that forms the source of the River Dee near the Ainic Cairn, high on the slopes of Breriac in the Cairngorms, is known by what name?
The Doon.
Wells of Dee. Which of the Thames tributaries, which rises at Seven Springs near Cheltenham, is one of its claimed sources?
Churn.
Yes, after rising near Sally Gap in the Wicklow Mountains, which river flows into the Blessington Lakes, a popular tourist area?
Liffey.
Yes, which river was dammed at the environmentally sensitive site of Cow Green in the Northern Pennines in the late 60s?
The Wharfe.
The Tees. Near which town, the first one that the Severn flowed through after rising on the slopes of Plinlimmon, does it have its confluence with the Avon Clywedog?
Welshpool.
Llanidloes. The Liffey and which other river are at opposite ends of the 90-mile-long Royal Canal?
The Shannon.
Yes. Along with the Barrow and the Nore, what is the third of the three sisters that enter the estuarine bay known as Waterford Harbour?
Sure.
Yes. At which town on the River Tummel is there a ladder of 34 successive pools where salmon can sometimes be seen making their way upstream?
Clyde.
Pitlochry. What is the name of the river that rises in the Clochainog forest, which gave its name to a Welsh county formed in 1974 and abolished in 1996?
Clwyd.
Correct. Which model industrial village in Yorkshire, created between about 1851 and 1876, is named after its founder and the nearby river?
Calder.
Saltaire. The Gaelic name of which city refers to the River Farset, which now runs through a pipe under the city's High Street?
Pass.
Tomatin, Scotland's largest malt whisky distillery, stands on its banks of which river, whose headwaters rise in the Monteith Mountains?
Spey.
Findhorn. According to Irish mythology, in which river was the salmon of knowledge caught from which Finn McCool received his special powers?
Foyle.
The Boyne. The rivers Dochart and Lochar, I'll finish the question. The rivers Dochart and Lochar, whose confluence is just east of the town of Killin, are the principal headwaters of which river?
The Tay.
Yes. You had one pass. The city under which the River Farset runs is Belfast. One pass, Amanda Hill, 7 points. So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 7 points, Amanda Hill. Third place with 11 points, Ed Harris. Second place with 12 points, Mike Abbott. First place with 13 points, Adrien Jeffs. So the general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes get taken into account. Let's get on with it, and let me ask Amanda Hill to join us again, if she would, please. And you chose one heck of a big subject. There are a lot of rivers in Britain and Ireland.
Indeed, yes.
We know how many.
Well, I can count to 200.
Right.
But there must be loads more because, you know, I mean, the major rivers probably we're talking about 150, I guess, something like that. But then, of course,
how big does a river have to be
well,
a river?
When it actually gets a name, I think, is probably when it emerges from obscurity.
Right. So if it's a very, very big stream, it's still not a river unless it's got a name.
I think so. I think it's very difficult. Certainly from my point of view. I wouldn't know what to call it if it hadn't been given a name.
Now, I'm intrigued by the rivers that flow under London.
Well, I mean, originally, like Fleet Street, the Fleet came down and it basically became an open sewer, and that's why it had to be closed. So a lot of the London rivers were blocked in by the Victorians, you know, when they were busy constructing the sanitation for London.
So they were simply diverted underground in order to wash all the muck away. Right, well, 7 points. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. What proverbially should one do to shame the devil?
Pass.
Which French philosopher and mathematician born in 1596 is widely regarded as being the father of modern philosophy?
Descartes.
Yes. What type of object is a Penang lawyer?
Pass.
Which American industrialist and philanthropist founded the Standard Oil Company in Ohio in 1870?
Pass.
The mating call of which beetle, found chiefly in old furniture and wood, was once believed to forecast an approaching death?
Death Watch.
Yes. Which word, thought to be a 19th century invention, is used for a severe storm of wind and snow?
Lizard.
Yes. King Zog formally abdicated as the ruler of which European country on the 2nd of January 1946?
Albania.
Yes. What name is given to the main artery of the human body that carries blood from the left ventricle of the heart to all parts of the body except the lungs?
Aorta.
Yes. Whose poem, The Canonization, begins, "For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love"?
John Donne.
Yes. Which 19th century prison reformer appears on the £5 note first issued in May 2002?
Elizabeth Fry.
Yes. Which actor who died in April 1988 was a regular performer on Round the Horn, Hancock's Half Hour, and Just a Minute?
Kenneth Williams.
Correct. Under which politician's leadership did Athens reach the height of its powers in the 5th century BC?
Pericles.
Yes. Which writer who died in 1894 settled in Samoa, where he was known as Tusitala, or the storyteller?
Stevenson.
Yes. Which word meaning violently angry comes from the name given to Norse warriors who were filled with a frenzied and irresistible fury in battle?
Berserk.
Yes. Which British monarch had 17 children, though only one, William, Duke of Gloucester, survived infancy?
Queen Anne.
Yes. Who wrote the screenplay of the 1961 film The Misfits for his second wife?
Miller.
Yes. Which cabinet post was held in Conservative governments by Peter Walker, David Hunt, John Redwood and William Hague, all of whom are English?
Welsh Secretary.
Yes. In which Gilbert and Sullivan operetta does the hero Strephon have a fairy for a mother?
Iolanthe.
Iolanthe is correct. And that is your time up. John D. Rockefeller was the founder of the Standard Oil Company. You'll not believe this, neither did I, but a Penang lawyer is a walking stick. And if you want to shame the devil, you tell the truth. Free passes, Amanda Hill. You shot up to 22 points. And now Ed Harris, please. And your subject, Garibaldi in the Italian unification, because there wasn't an Italy before Garibaldi.
No, there were 9 separate states.
Was he the man who actually unified them, or...?
He was one of 4 people who accomplished this.
And he was highly charismatic.
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. He was a remarkable person, remarkable.
Came to London?
He came to London a number of times, but the big visit was in 1864, and millions of people turned out to see him.
Literally?
Yes, literally millions. The carriage procession from Waterloo to the West End took 5 hours because there were so many people, and when it got to the end there, the carriage fell to bits because all the people had been climbing on it.
Good heavens. It seems a little bit sad in a way that here's this man who achieved this extraordinary feat of unifying Italy, just about, well, not quite
yes,
single-handed,
right.
but nonetheless. And all we know him for is his biscuits.
Yes, yes. Well, the biscuit started, it was a form of sort of portable food that he and his men made as sort of the equivalent of iron rations, I suppose, of that day.
So not the most dignified way for him to end, but a great man.
Absolutely, absolutely. Charismatic, yes.
Mm. Right, well, you scored 11 points with him. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. What, according to the Parliament Act of 1911, is the maximum duration of a parliament in the United Kingdom?
5 years.
Yes, in voodoo, what term is used for a corpse reanimated by sorcery or a dead person's disembodied soul?
Zombie.
Yes, what name is given to the vertical partition that divides one part of a ship or aircraft from another?
Bulwark.
Bulkhead. By what title is the puppeteer in Punch and Judy shows generally known?
Pass.
Which nursery rhyme tells of the military exploits of Frederick Augustus, the second son of George III?
The Grand Old Duke of York.
Indeed. Which oil tanker ran aground on the Brittany coast in March 1978?
The Torrey Canyon.
Amico Cadiz. How many categories of the Nobel Prize are awarded annually?
Pass.
In classical architecture, which term for a female figure used instead of a column as a support is derived from the name of a priestess of Artemis?
Aphrodite.
Caryatid. Which capital city was burned by British forces in August 1814?
Washington.
Yes, which member of the weasel family that mainly lives throughout the Highlands of Scotland and in part of Dumfries and Galloway is one of the UK's rarest native mammals?
Stoat.
Pine marten. In film and television, which member of the Magnificent Seven was also a man from U.N.C.L.?
Robert Vaughan.
Yes, who is the only Swedish-born boxer to have won the world heavyweight title?
Ingmar Johansson.
Yes, the name of which group of writers whose works are characterised by outspoken dissatisfaction with the status quo was taken for the title of Leslie Allen Paul's autobiography?
Pass.
With a name meaning simple E, what is the 5th letter of the Greek alphabet?
Epsilon.
Yes, at which battle of 1403 was Harry Hotspur, the eldest son of the Earl of Northumberland, killed?
Shrewsbury.
Yes, what first name is shared by major female characters in Verdi's Il Trovatore, La Forza del Destino and Oberto?
Pass.
Which group had a hit with Dedicated Follower of Fashion in March 1966?
Status quo.
The Kinks. In medical terms, what do the letters IVF stand for?
In vitro fertilization.
Yes. Which Italian actress played the title role in Charlie Chaplin's last film, A Countess from Hong Kong?
Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren is correct. The first name shared by all those operatic characters was Leonora. Angry Young Men was the title of Leslie Ann Paul's autobiography. There are 6 Nobel Prizes awarded every year, and the puppeteer in Punch and Judy is known as Professor. 4 passes. Ed Harris, a total of 21 points. And Mike Abbott now, please. Now, what a whopping subject you have chosen, the Archers. Good heavens, how many programmes have there been?
Just around 15,000 now.
Why has it lasted so long?
It's easy to follow, and I think people love it. It's a comfort blanket. Always on the same time on a Sunday morning, and while you're tinkering in the garage. Makes you feel good. Old friends dropping by.
But I mean, it presumably can just carry on forever.
There is no reason why. They do change the script writers. They try and bring in new script writers the old time. They rotate the characters now a lot more than they used to. Move people on.
Well, long may it last, even if they don't get quite as many listeners as the Today programme. But you have 12 points. 22 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do it with general knowledge. Which British athlete won the Olympic men's 100 metres title in 1992?
Live for Christie.
Correct. In World War II, what name was given to the aircraft at the rear of a group, the ship at the rear of a flotilla, or the rear gunner in a bomber?
Taylor and Charlie.
Correct. Which word has the opposed meanings of to stick together or adhere to and to split apart?
Pass.
On which saint's feast day is the last bank holiday in Britain normally held?
St. Stephen.
Yes. Which wind instrument is named after the Belgian instrument maker who first patented it in 1846?
Saxophone.
Correct. What does a horologist specialise in making?
Clocks and watches.
Yes. Which car model, a disastrous failure when it was launched in 1957, did Henry Ford name after his son?
Edsel.
Yes. Which word for the faculty of making fortunate discoveries by accident was coined by Horace Walpole in 1754?
Serendipity.
Yes. The story of which film, released in 1933, concerns the obsession of its title character with the starlet Anne Darrow?
Double Indemnity.
King Kong. Which American state was an independent republic from 1836 to 1845 when it became the 28th state?
Texas.
Yes. A. Houseman wrote that Clunton and Clunbury, Clunford and Clun are the quietest places under the sun. In which county are these villages?
Shropshire.
Yes. Whose law may be stated as the ratio of the voltage between the ends of a conductor and the current flowing in it is a constant?
Ohm's law.
Yes. Which American humorist poet wrote, God in his wisdom made the fly and then forgot to tell us why?
Thurber.
Ogden Nash. What name did the Senate confer on Gaius Julius Caesar Octavianus when he effectively became the first Roman emperor around 27 BC?
Augustus.
Yes. Which English engineer developed the steam turbine, first used for marine propulsion in the steamship Turbinia in 1897?
Terrific.
Charles Parsons. The life and works of which French painter inspired Stephen Sondheim's Pulitzer Prize-winning musical Sunday in the Park with George?
Bracht.
Seurat. Which group recorded the hit albums Physical Graffiti and In Through the Outdoor?
Pass.
Who became the first woman... I've started, so I'll finish. Who became the first woman MP to take her seat in the House of Commons after she was elected for the seat of Plymouth in November 1919?
Lady Esther.
It was Nancy Astor. Led Zeppelin was the group who had those hits. And that word with the opposing meaning, stick together and adhere to, and split apart, cleave. 2 passes. Mike Abbott, 24 points. And now Adrien Jeffs finally, please. And of course we all remember Arthur C. Clarke, mostly for 2001: A Space Odyssey, but we perhaps should know him for something else, the geostationary satellite, which
has been a major boon to your line of work.
Well, and indeed to everybody in a sense. I mean, what would we do now
I think it's
without...
probably after the computer, and because of the impact it's going to have on the internet eventually, possibly the most important invention of the last 50 years. He was the man who calculated the orbits that you would need to put geostationary satellites in. And they can transmit, particularly television, to any point on the surface of the Earth except the poles.
Also means we can't get lost in modern cars these days because they've got those sat-nav systems.
Yes,
in there.
and you have sat-nav systems. And of course, not only the communications satellite, he also was the man who was promoted the meteorology satellite. So the fact you have weather forecasts, which are so accurate these days, is almost entirely down to Arthur C. Clarke.
Well, you scored 13 points with him, so you now have to get more than 24 points. So let's see,
No pressure.
with your no pressure, let's see if you can do it. Here we go. Which everyday object takes its name from the Greek words for distant and sound?
Telephone.
Yes, which railway timetable, first produced in 1839 and named after the original publisher, was discontinued in 1961?
Brasses.
Bradshaw's. What is the name of the philosophy propounded by Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, which states that any action is right if it tends to promote happiness?
Utilitarianism.
Yes. Which human rights organisation was founded in 1961, mainly through the efforts of British lawyer Peter Benenson?
Amnesty International.
Yes. A highwayman was a thief on horseback who robbed travellers. What name was given to his pedestrian equivalent?
Footpad.
Yes. Which term for a written statement confirmed by oath for use as evidence in court comes from the medieval Latin for he has stated on oath?
Affidavit.
Yes, what species of tree is the General Sherman, which stands in a national park in California, is roughly 275 feet high, 103 feet around its base and still growing?
California redwood.
Correct, or sequoia. What name is given to the point on the celestial sphere directly above an observer on Earth?
The zenith.
Yes, which Caribbean island is divided into 3 counties, Middlesex, Surrey and Cornwall?
Jamaica.
Yes, who wrote the novel Rasselas during the evenings of a single week in 1759 to pay his mother's funeral expenses?
Walpole.
Johnson. In which classic 1969 film did Benny Hill play Professor Simon Peach, a computer expert with a fondness for large women?
Italian Job.
Yes, according to T.S. Eliot's The Wasteland, which is the cruelest month?
April.
Yes, the 1572 massacre of the Huguenots in France began on which saint's feast day?
St. Bartholomew.
Yes, which battle in World War II that started on the 5th of July 1943 in Western Russia was the largest tank battle of the war?
Kursk.
Yes, Thanks for the Memory was the theme song of which film comedian?
Bob Hope.
Yes, the title of the Manic Street Preachers' 1998 album, This Is My Truth, Tell Me Yours, is a quotation from which Welsh politician?
David Lloyd George.
And Adam Bevan. What is the name of the body established by President Truman that advises the President on all matters relating to the defence and interests of the United States, both at home and abroad?
National Security Council.
Correct. Which group of islands between Iceland and the Shetlands form a self-governing part of Denmark?
Faroes.
Yes. Which shipping forecast area, I'll finish the question, lies between Dogger and Tyne to the north, German Bight to the east, and Thames to the south?
Nor.
Humber. No passes, Hadrien Jeffs, 28 points. So let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 21 points, Ed Harris. 3rd place with 22 points, Amanda Hill. 2nd place with 24 points, Mike Abbott. In 1st place with 28 points, Adrien Jeffs. So we shall be seeing Adrien Jeffs again when he takes his place in our grand final. Congratulations to him. Do join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
With lots more passengers passing through, follow Daily Live at Victoria Coach Station. The Route Masters running London's roads is tonight at 9. Next today on BBC Two, the A to Z of TV gardening.